It's how do you do that and do it well? How do you impact these kids to start a career well, prepared, balanced, purposeful? That's the dream.
Welcome to the Dream Chasers podcast. I am Samantha Ainsworth, your host, and I have, you know what? I forgot to ask you so it's Michelle, is it Balfe? Is that
Balfe.
It's Balfe.
Close enough.
Balfe.
Rhymes with Ralph.
There you go. Awesome. So Michelle is, ready for this? You guys think I do a lot of stuff. She is an ASL English Interpreter for 30 plus years, an Adjunct Instructor for 25 years, an Academic Advisor at CCAC for 2 years, and a Health and Wellness Coach for Oola, the Mind and Body Company, for the last 4 years. Okay. Just one or two things.
Couple.
And she's also my accountability buddy. So
true.
We get together every Monday.
We do.
And we're like, did you do the thing? You said you were going to do the thing. Did you do the thing? No.
Well, do the thing.
Do the thing. You said you were going to do the thing. Do the thing. This is what we do for each other every Monday.
A lot of venting goes on.
Yeah, there's frequently some venting.
Oh, venting, yeah.
So, the idea for the podcast came to me in the shower. Because this
good
poem,
ideas do.
All my good ideas come in the shower.
Hey.
And Bruce will vouch for it because I will just like scream across the house at him. It's like, hey babe, it's like,
write this down.
What's happening? So the inspiration behind said podcast is this poem, Harlem by Langston Hughes, which I do an interpretive reading of every single time until the Langston Hughes estate tells me to knock it off.
It's not like you're making tons of cash from it, so you know.
No, and I feel like it's all the things. So,
and I agree.
And it's also, this poem is also the inspiration behind one of my favorite plays, so that it works out okay. You might figure out which one it is. Harlem by Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? So, Michelle Balfe, of all the things, when you think of dream chasing, what does that mean to you?
Well, to me, it's not just one dream. I think to me, it's kind of to me, the dream is to chase what's authentically me, to use all my gifts and talents, which means the dream changes, right?
Right.
So today, my dream might be to interpret, and boy, do I get to meet some cool people along the way and meet some really cool people. But at the end of the day, my gift is communication access.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do that thing, I give you the whole experience. Like, it's not just words, and my hands flap around like some kind of paid professional. I give you the whole experience, the background noise, the emotion, the intent, the everything. It's like watching a symphony. You don't just get a single instrument. You get the whole musical experience.
Right.
At least that's what I'm told. When people watch me, hearing people are like, you're so beautiful. I'm like, how do you know I might suck?
Yeah.
But they're like, I can just see the expression and I can see their tone and you match the person. And so that's the dream, is being able to adequately connect with somebody's intent and emotion and all of that and do them justice.
Yeah.
That's the dream. Okay, but I've been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what? I've got other gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I think I'll teach. Cool, because that's a gift.
Yeah.
So I teach. And again, it's meeting these kids where they are. It's how do you do that and do it well? How do you impact these kids to start a career well, prepared, balanced, purposeful? That's the dream. So when you say dream chaser, I think, okay, what gifts and talents do I have, and how can I impact the world? And that changes every day.
I love that.
Right? And then they were like, oh, want to be a coach? I'm like, maybe.
There's a difference in coaching and teaching.
Totally. And what I'm learning is that as an instructor, oh my God, give me 25 kids, I'm good to go. But when it comes to coaching, I tried the whole group coaching thing. Oh my God, epic failure. Just give me one-on-one.
Yeah.
I'm much better one-on-one as a coach than I am as a group coach.
Yeah.
I'm definitely learning that.
It's so funny because, everyone keeps telling me I should teach. I'm like, I don't want to teach, but I love coaching.
Right.
I love coaching. I'll coach all day long.
Right.
But teaching, especially in like a public education thing,
Truly.
it's like, I love this thing that I'm trying to impart to you. And if you're just like, oh, God, it's just going to ruin it for me.
Right.
I don't want you to ruin it for me.
Right.
Whereas with coaching, I feel like people come into it knowing what they're getting themselves into, and they want that. So rather than...
And they're invested in it.
So rather than me just barking at them, it's an exchange of ideas.
Like the perfect example is yesterday. We had these projects due in all 4 of my classes. I teach 4 of the same class on 3 different campuses this semester. And each class is doing a group project. Well, yesterday was group project day. Well, in my one class, 5 people in this group, not one of them showed up. How do you do that? How do you do a group project and not show up to present it?
None of them showed up?
None of them showed up. And
were they all expecting someone else to show up?
I guess, and I didn't hear from any of them, which is not, I mean, like all my other 3 classes, they all showed up. They were excited. They all did their thing. They were all, they did a great job. And then I had this one group, didn't hear jack from them, didn't get an email, didn't get a text, didn't get an FU, nothing. And then there's a homework assigned to it. Like the whole class does it.
Yeah.
25 points worth of what did you learn from their presentation? Okay, so not only did you not show up for yourself, but now you got 20 classmates that can't do a homework.
Right.
So I had to make something up on the fly.
Oh, that's annoying.
It was wild. I was like, there's no accountability. There's no investment for these kids.
Right.
They think I'm going to pass them. I still haven't heard from them. I thought I'd get an email saying, oh, can I submit it late, or which is typical. Nothing. Crickets.
All 5 of them.
Crickets.
What if they talk to each other?
I have no idea. How do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of... I have opinions.
I do too.
I have very unpopular... I mean, like, I feel like you can scream what you want to about the next generation. We raised them. So, like...
Yeah, we did.
It's
true, but
the buck stops somewhere, and
I'll take responsibility for my part of it. But at the same time, my whole class is about, it's college seminar. It's how to succeed in college. What do you want to be when you grow up? Who can best educate you for that purpose? Yeah. And how do you do it without going broke or crazy? We all need it. We all need that. Come on, baby. Like, we all need this class, right?
Oh my, yes. That wasn't offered when I was in college.
I know. Now they're trying to make it required, and they should. They absolutely should.
No, they absolutely should, because everyone's high school experience is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even within Pittsburgh, kids who go to school, in Mount Lebanon get a completely different experience than kids who go to school in the West End.
And we have a lot of foreign-born students now, a lot of international students. And that's what this project was on, is on technology. And I let them do it because I see a whole different side of the technology than they do. As an instructor, I have different access. So I don't know what they see. And I don't know where they're at.
Right.
So I break it up into different technology, like Blackboard, Microsoft, Google, whatever. And then they as a group teach us about that platform.
Yeah.
Well, this time was Microsoft, which is everything we do at CCAC is on Microsoft. Did they show up? No.
Oh, my God.
Oops.
Whoops. And then
So,
you can't help someone
so
get
I
to
took
the next
somebody
step if they don't show up.
No, so I took somebody else, another class's PowerPoint. I posted that, and I presented North Campus's presentation because I didn't know what else to do. I don't have one. I didn't do it. It's not my project.
Oh, my God.
So talk about investments and no accountability. And so definitely with the coaching, the investment is much different.
Yeah.
Much.
100%. And, but even within that, so like I do a lot of these casting director workshops that I do, right? We pay money to go and, dear casting director, please tell me how I can suck less as an actor. This is what we do.
Right.
Please help me, like, when I come into your office or send you my little self-tape, not look like an asshole. Like, this is what we're asking. And even within that, and some of these are not cheap, people will not do their work.
How do you do that?
I don't.
Although it's
I
kind of like
personally
me
don't
today,
understand.
I show up and not do my makeup, no hair. I'm prepared. It's fine.
It's fine. You look great.
I
Whatever.
honestly truly thought it was just my voice. So, you know, I don't know where, and I don't know what I thought. I don't know. I don't even know what you
probably
said.
just like podcasts.
Yeah, it was like podcasts, and I've seen them, I've heard them.
Yeah.
I swear to God,
okay.
I amaze myself.
Those of us who get a lot done sometimes forget. I mean, my makeup's sitting in there because I, didn't. And I printed out your cute little bio that you sent me, and it's sitting on my desk. So
I know.
Well, listen, I remembered to bring my stuff. So
there you go. Well, that's here. This is my only day off. Fridays are my day to do me. And so these are. I went around running in.
It's a cute T-shirt though.
Thanks. It's an Oola shirt.
Oh, is it? I like the
VW
camper.
bug. Yeah.
I like it. I'm digging it. Okay, so with all these things that you do, which there does seem to be a common thread among them.
There really kind of does.
It really kind of does. So with all of the things that you do, like, how will you know, for you, like, how will you know when you've done the thing? You know what I mean?
Oh, God. That's the question, right? Because I am looking. I'm pushing 60.
You look fabulous.
Well, not today, but thank you. Oh my God. So I'm answering that question, and that's really kind of I have two clients for my coaching company, really. One is this up and coming new professional. I want to make sure their careers are solid and stellar. That's my one group. And then on the other end are people like me who are looking at retirement but want to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
I don't want to just bail and say, see ya. I want to make sure that I'm going to leave behind something that is going to produce the best prepared professionals we can have for the deaf community, for, whoever. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to know when I reach that. I think economics is going to be a factor. Obviously money is going to be a factor.
Money's always a factor.
Money's always a factor, sadly.
Money is the bane of my existence.
I swear to God. So, I try not to go that route with it, but at the end of the day, you got to be practical, right?
Right.
Part of me really has said, you know what, I'm 30 years deep into this career. I'm ready to give it to the kids. I'm ready to say, see ya. Let's go. But then part of me is like, oh my God, they don't show up for presentations. They don't know how to send an email. They don't know how to negotiate a rate.
Right.
How are you going to go out and be a professional? I can't leave these kids. We have to show up, like you said.
Yeah.
We raised these kids, right? Somebody's got to take accountability and, responsibility for that. So part of me is like, I think that's how you know, is when you can say, okay, I've laid out the groundwork, and you just got to trust them to take off with it, I guess.
Yeah. One of the reasons I wanted to have these discussions is like, there seems to be this idea that a dream or a goal is only valid if it's achieved. Right? But there's something to just the act of
chasing
it.
Yeah.
So,
but do we ever really achieve it? I mean, that's the thing.
I tend to. So I just had PJ Gaynard was here earlier today, and
I was gonna say I didn't see him.
Yeah,
I just
did this, and he did this in the
traffic.
And he was talking about like he constantly changes his goals. I know that I do that. Like I'll get to a certain point and I'm like, okay, I did that. Next, now what? But for me, like I feel very lost unless I have something very specific that I'm trying to do.
Right.
I feel very lost. Like people who don't have any ambition, like this is not a rip against those people. I don't understand it. Like I don't know how do you. It's kind of like people who need religion in order to be a moral human, and they don't understand folks who don't need.
Right.
There's a wonderful video floating around with Ricky Gervais where it's like, how do you know not to go and rape and murder people without God? He's like, because I'm
intelligent.
Because I just don't.
Because I'm smart.
I just don't go and rape and murder people. That's how I feel. Like how do you get out of bed in the morning if you don't have something to do?
Right.
If you don't have something to go to, I just personally don't understand it. But that doesn't invalidate their thing. I just don't get it.
I think for us, for people like us who are goal setters and kind of go getters. I think we know when that. I don't think it's a matter of achieving the dream. I think it's a matter of changing the dream and being able to say there's going to be a different dream of retirement, or a different dream of, I don't know. But I think it's not a matter of the dream ending, because I can't imagine that either.
Yeah, like I can't imagine stopping.
I can't either. I think they're just going to have to change, especially for me and you. But my husband, on the other hand, he's a fireman. He doesn't change hats like we do. Like every day of the week, we could have 10 hats on in an hour. He doesn't function like that. Right. So while he is ambitious to a point, but certainly not like you and I are, right, where we've got goals and we crush them, and he doesn't need an accountability partner or anything like that. And so for him, he knows when it's done. He retires from the fire department. His dream is over. That was his dream, right? Yeah. And so he's going to live that out, and he's done. For me, that's not going to be enough.
No. Yeah, I've been accused of never being happy. We're just never happy. I'm like, I'm perfectly happy. I just have other things I want to do.
I think you're a realist.
Well, I don't know. Like, I
think you're not happy.
I'm happy most. I was
going to say, I'm
happy most of the time. Some days are just hard.
Yeah, but that's life.
I've got a depressed teenager and a husband who's having a hard time dealing, and I have a business that's like collapsing around my ears, and all of this nonsense is happening. Mm-hmm. But tomorrow, I get to go to a SAG Awards party. Yay! And I have a casting director workshop with somebody who's the casting director for a show that I'm kind of obsessed with. There's a show called Kevin Can Fuck Himself, which had 2 seasons. Did you see the... Listen, like, I fully admit I am not a TV person. But what I loved about this show... It was very high concept. Because what I loved about this show is, like, there's all of those damn sitcoms where it's like the heavy set doofus who's married to the hot chick. Yeah, right. And the hot chick is like, I can't believe you did this stupid thing today. Here's some cake. You know what I mean? So, like, that's how they normally are. Right. So this takes that concept of the doofus with the hot wife. And every time the doofus is, and it's like a multicam, there's laugh tracks, there's all of that stuff. But the second he's not in the room, it turns to dark single cam because she's plotting his murder. Like, it's brilliant.
Oh, yay.
But it's brilliant because, like, because I'm a big fan of why do we do what we do? Yeah. And with a lot of sitcoms, there's nothing.
There's no substance.
Oh, man.
Like, zero.
There's just nothing. But this, like, gave, like, all of these cool levels to that. So even when it was, like, the
When's this coming out? I'm going to watch it.
Oh, no, it's been out. It was on AMC. So there's 2. So I don't like anything.
I got to watch this.
I don't like anything. I've watched 3 episodes now because it's come to an end now. And I don't want it to be over. So I watch the same episode.
10 minutes.
And I take it like 10. Yeah, right. Just when I need it.
It's great.
And it has Annie Murphy, who was in Schitt's Creek.
Oh.
The woman who played Alexis.
I'm going to watch it.
Honest to God, do yourself a favor and go find Kevin Can Fuck Himself. Right. So anyway, one of the casting directors for that, I get to have a meeting with tomorrow.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And I have a coaching client tomorrow morning. I get to coach somebody through a self-tape tomorrow, which I'm... Self-tapes are a weird... Actors either love them or hate them. Do you know what a self-tape is?
I do.
For those of you who don't understand, like, actor lingo. So what a self-tape is it's a filmed audition that they do themselves, that they submit themselves, as opposed to going to a casting director's office. They have a little space where they rent, because I know that you can rent the space here.
Yeah, my daughter did actually do some self-tapes.
Yeah.
That's how I know what they are.
Yeah. And then you submit it yourself. I personally love them because... what it does is I can't go to California tomorrow to go to a casting director's office, but I can send them a video.
Sure can.
So it opens it up for folks who don't necessarily live in one of the hubs.
Yeah.
Which means I don't have to move to LA.
Or if you're,
because I don't want to move to LA.
Or if you're filming something somewhere else or whatever, otherwise engaged in.
Yeah. So I personally love them. And I see a lot of actors get, like, I have a friend who's one of the best actors you'll ever meet. And he's like, I can't do anything because everything's self-tape. And because he can't stand the way he looks on film.
Wow.
it's different for him to go to an office and he doesn't ever have to look at it. But if he has to be the one recording
that is weird, though.
Right. It becomes a very different thing. I have edited so many pieces of footage of my face that I've got this weird disconnect with my face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I see it. Boy, your skin looks like shit today. But it's almost like it's a different person,
right?
As opposed to me. But it took a long time to get to that point. I do this all the time. I hit this poor microphone.
I know, I do it too.
I'm a gesticulator. It's what I do.
Me too. I'm an interpreter. I have an excuse.
Excuse. I'm
Italian. Whatever.
You're Italian.
I'm Italian.
And you're an ASL
That's why
interpreter.
I'm an interpreter.
Right. I'm just a spaz.
Well, it's funny because I have the same kind of thing with my voice as an interpreter. I have like an interpreter voice that's not mine.
Right.
That I can listen to all day long. Doesn't bother me. But if I listen to like this, it's going to drive me crazy. Or if I listen to a voice message that I leave or whatever, I'll be like,
yeah.
But I have an interpreting voice that I'm fine with.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah. Right. It's part of the job.
It is part of the job. And after 30 years, you get used to it.
Right. So yeah, so I enjoy the coaching stuff. So so that's exciting. Like I'm excited about that, and trying to build that into like a thing, with Pip and Lola's disintegrating around my ears, like just trying to, redirect all of this energy that I have. But it's funny because like in looking at your bio and all the things that you do, I'm like, I get this. I was talking to my attorney because I had to create a new LLC.
Yeah. And
so I created like this blanket LLC, this like umbrella company, which is Plot Twist Creative.
Right.
But underneath Plot Twist Creative, there's the podcast. And there's the coaching work that I do. And then there's my acting stuff. And then there's also, I'm still going to have some soaps. But also I'm going to do some candles. And I'm going to do some resin stuff. And, I paint. And so I'm going to have my painting stuff there. So like all of this is under this umbrella. And I was trying to explain that Plot Twist is all the weird shit Sammy does.
That's why it's a plot twist.
That's why it's a plot twist. Well, also because I'm like, shit, now what? plot twist.
It's true. It's perfect. It's the perfect name, honestly.
Yeah, I got really lucky that it wasn't taken.
Honestly, that's true.
Yeah. Well, I found out there is another Plot Twist Creative in Poland.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, whatever. They're in Poland. They're
fine.
Not doing the same thing I'm doing. I'm doing 900 things.
They can do one. It's fine.
But, what's nice about, and I imagine with all of the stuff that you do, that it's a very similar situation. What's nice about having 45 different things that you do in a given day is if one of them is just overwhelming and I can't deal with that, you can at least pivot to the next thing.
Yeah, it's true. It is nice to be able to kind of pick a track for the day, if you will, or be like, I'm done with this for the day or whatever. The thing that gets tough is separating it from taxes are always a fun time. Taxes are a pain in the ass.
So many W-2s.
So many W-9, 1099s and all of them.
So many. Oh God. I think I had 8 last year.
I had like 15. I'm so over this. So and then you think you turned them all in and you did it. And then you get a call from your accountant and he's like, oh, you're missing one. And I'm like, oh crap, I don't know where it's at. So that's always fun. But other than that, like the logistics of it, it's nice to be able to bring other people in. Like, how do I explain it? Because they're part of that dream too. I can't chase a dream on my own. I chase a gazillion dreams, clearly.
Yeah.
But what fun is it if you're not chasing it with some people?
Yeah.
Right? But I'm self-employed. So it's not like I go to an office every day and have, time to be bullshitting at the water cooler or whatever. That doesn't happen for us.
It's just, because it's just us.
So how do you chase that dream and bring other people with you? So for me, that's the trick.
Yeah.
Is how many people can I impact and bring along for the ride? That's what's going to make the impact for me, is knowing that I'm not doing it alone.
100%. I've been doing all these classes, and so I'm learning all this stuff. I'm like, but I want to tell you all the cool things I'm learning.
Exactly.
Because yes, I paid for the class, but I now have that knowledge and I can tell somebody else, and maybe you don't have money for the class, but I can tell you at least what they said.
It's true. Well, and a lot of
then
stuff,
also in the telling, then you get better at it.
That's true.
You've had to explain
That's one reason why I started teaching. I started off doing interpreter training workshops because we have to have continuing education credits and blah, blah, blah. So I started teaching workshops for interpreters. And I was paying for all of these workshops, and they were the same shit over and over and over. And I'm like, I could do this shit in my sleep. I am not paying you to learn something I already know.
Yeah.
So then I was like, and that was my motto, no more boring workshops. I'm going to do the fun stuff. I'm going to have a blast doing it. I'm going to teach you something you haven't learned yet. We're going to have a blast doing it. And that's what I was doing for a long time. Had a blast doing it. But creating those materials is costly and time consuming.
Yeah.
And I'm an interpreter. I'm not a designer of stuff.
Yeah.
I can do it. It just takes me a while. And it's basic. It's functional, but it's not like marketing material. I mean, I don't know how to do any of that. So then I fell into Oola for whatever reason. And that's when Dave reached out to me. He's one of the co-founders. And he said, we think you'd make a great coach. And I'm like, well, maybe, but I'm committed to doing these workshops. 1 a month for the next 12 months for interpreters. And he's like, well, that's amazing. I don't know anything about interpreting, but I know workshops. How can I help you? And so like every month or every 6 weeks or so, Dave would check in with me. Okay, I know you had a workshop. How'd it go? What did you learn from it? How can you make the next one better? And he was great.
Yeah.
Great. And then, I got to the end of the year and he said, okay, this is the last one. It's December. You've got one more. This is your final exam. Go crush it. How can I help you? I'll follow up with you when you're done. All right. I go, I crush my workshop. He comes, 2 days later. How'd it go? The workshop itself went great. Great. How did the year go? To be honest, it was a train wreck. And he's like, why? What did you learn from it? Look at all that you did to get here. You did so many things. You crushed so many things. Why was it a train wreck? And it came down to the materials.
Right.
And I'd seen Oola's material. Like they have materials too for life coaching, for wellness coaching. And he was like, well, you've seen our coaching materials. You ready to be a coach? And that's when I knew, because it's very similar to my teaching style. It's I didn't have to change my philosophy on anything.
Yeah.
They had this killer program and lifestyle framework and all the materials to go with it.
Yeah.
And I learned better if I'm doing.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to incorporate that lifestyle into my life anyway, I might as well learn how to do it and share it. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready. So I decided to become a coach for them, crushed their training, crushed it, like loved it. And then COVID hit.
No. COVID
I was
ruined
like, y'all
everything.
are killing me.
COVID ruined everything.
And then, so I could still coach, but my interpreting hours tripled because we were considered an essential service.
Right.
So I continued to interpret in person for all of COVID.
Yeah, I never really got any downtime.
And then I was
COVID.
at home for the FCC processing video relay phone calls. And because everybody got sent home, our call volume tripled. And we were providing 1,000,000-hour call days. 1,000,000 hours worth of calls we were interpreting during COVID. I was ready to axe murder somebody. I needed a break so bad by the end of 2021. I was ready to axe murder somebody. It was crazy. But then so the coaching got put on hold.
Yeah.
So now I'm just trying to dig my way out of I can kind of see, I can see that I really want to be on that path because I'm really good at it and I love it and people need us and I want to show up for them. But I got to make the FCC happy because that's what's paying the bills right now.
Yeah.
So I got to I got to redefine the dream because the dream is not to make the FCC happy.
No.
Definitely not that.
As you know, I'm in a similar thing. I have
Yes.
the one that's kind of falling apart, and I'm trying to build the other one up at the same time. And it's like you're spinning in circles.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're encountering this, as Pippa Lola's is going away. Even though I'm relieved.
Right.
I'm honestly relieved about it. I still have an intense amount of guilt.
Oh yeah.
Because there's people who need I mean, the soaps are still going to exist in a different form.
Right.
But there's a lot of them that aren't. And I'm already starting to get is this one coming back? No. Well, how much? But
pick another one.
I had 260 varieties, and I'm narrowing it down to 35.
Well, that's still that's still a good number.
It's still a decent chunk, but it's not 260.
Right.
So, wow. And there's a lot of ones I'm not doing. It's a whole thing. But I do like as they're selling out, and as like the amount that I have in stock gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Like I start to have like almost palpitations.
Yeah.
Of that ending. I mean, that was 12 years of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like this company I provide VRS calls for. They are closing their Pittsburgh office. Well, I haven't been there in 3 years, but I worked for this company for 11.
Yeah.
I still have coffee mugs there. I still have, I donated textbooks and resources and stuff for the students that come in to observe and to learn from us. That's 11 years of my life are in that building.
Yeah.
And they're basically saying, you can have it, but all this shit's got to go. Okay, wait, what do you mean I can't have it? Well, it's not yours. Well, what are you going to do with it? Well, we'll either donate it or throw it out, but I can't have it. What? Like, you don't make it. Do you not hear what you're saying?
Yeah.
And I said, what about all the pictures that are in here? Like, we used to have picnics and potlucks, and there's pictures of our families in there. I said, what are you guys going to do with all the pictures? Oh, we're going to throw them out. Why? Well, we don't have time to like pack them up or ship them or. Okay, I will come in and collect up all the family pictures. I will send them to people. Why would you do that?
Because I don't want them thrown away.
Well, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do it? Why am I doing it?
Oh,
I'm not even in most of these pictures.
Yeah.
And the one, I call it the OGs because it's the like original group of interpreters from 20 years ago. I'm not in that picture. But a lot of them still work for the company. Many of them have retired and moved to other states. They probably don't even know we're closing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go in. I want that picture. And I can't believe nobody else wants it. I'm going to get that picture. And there's probably a dozen people in it. And I'm going to make a dozen copies. And I'm going to send one to everybody in that picture. And literally the director said to me, why would you want to do that?
Because obviously, based on everything else that you do, community is important to
It
you.
is, but why wouldn't somebody else do it?
Yeah. I don't know.
Why am I the weird one here? I'm like, y'all are crazy. Really? I'm just going to come into your house and throw out all your family photos. Bye. And you're not going to be like, oh, okay, see ya. Really? You're not going to be like, oh, you know what? I think I want that one. It wouldn't occur to you that maybe somebody would want the pictures of their own
weird.
family.
That's weird.
And I know there's the one lady who hasn't worked for us for a long time. I'm almost positive there's a picture of her and her son who is now deceased. You can't tell me she's not going to want that picture back. But then again, these people don't, she's coming from Philly and they're in Salt Lake. The headquarters is in Salt Lake City. So they don't know us. They don't know us at all.
Right.
Why
do you think it's that important to you? Is it just for that closure?
I think so. I mean, why is that, it's coming down around you, right? And I think there's no emotion on their side. So I'm almost like trying to figure out why it's so emotional for me, but not for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's way more emotional than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the same thing's true for you.
It's weird. I mean, it's weird. I mean, it's named after my kids, so that adds to it.
Sure.
Sure. But like, I have a couple of mementos that I have the giant sign that was on the Strip District building. Like,
oh, cool.
The $14,000 sign that was on the side of the building, but we can adapt it and just like use like a plug. And so I keep calling it the $14,000 nightlight.
I love that.
That's basically what it is.
It's true though.
It's kind of what it is, but like, that's not going anywhere. I'm going to have that until I die. Because who else would want it? Because it's 10 feet. It's like 10 feet long.
That's so cool.
But yeah, so it's just this giant Pip and Lola's. I'm trying to remind myself that was the thing that I did, and just because it disintegrated due to some bad choices on my part doesn't mean that it wasn't
Well, and it wasn't all you either. I mean, there was a lot going on.
In fact, yeah, I was lied to. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So, but even within that, and so I was talking to PJ earlier today, and you said a thing that reminded me of something that he had said. He said that his mentor had said to him, "There's room within my dream for your dream."
Absolutely.
So, like when you were talking about like taking people along and helping them achieve their dreams, it kind of made me think of that. So with all the things that you do, what does a perfect day look like? Like when you get up and you're like,
oh man,
I crushed this day. So what does that look like for you?
Wow. I don't know. I didn't see that one coming.
Sorry.
It's okay. My perfect day, honest to God, involves coffee.
Well, yeah.
Typically with a friend. And my dogs, if I can. Family, you know what I mean? Just connection, I think, is the perfect day where I know I've made an impact. I've used my gifts intelligently, maybe, and not just for like selfish purposes. Yeah, I think that's probably my perfect day. That's probably when I sleep the best, is knowing that I did everything I could with my gifts to make somebody else's life better. That's it. That's the dream.
Awesome. You said that it's important for you to have a legacy. What does that look like?
Oof. All right, well, not to get overly religious or spiritual on you, but to me, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I think some weird shit's coming. Like, I don't know. This world is like really off its axis, if you ask me. And I do believe the Lord's coming back at some point. I don't know that we're going to be here when he does, but I don't know. If I can get through my thoughts, words, and deeds, and my example can call more people to his role, I did my thing.
There you go. I mean, like I am not a religious person. I'm a very spiritual person. I feel.
There you go. I'm more spiritual than I'm not like go to church 5 days a week kind of person. I do a lot for my church, but like I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Like I don't have a small group of church friends. Like I do everything for that church, but I don't know anybody at church, which is bizarre.
That's weird.
I know, right? Which is really weird to me. But if I think at the end of the day, if I can call more people to his role because of my thoughts, words, and deeds, I did my thing.
So in all the time we've been talking, I had no idea that you had a religious bent at all.
Well, good, because that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of people are turned off by it.
Well, I mean,
but they're going to have a mouth like a truck driver too, which so...
Well, I mean,
some people are like, oh my God, what?
I am currently writing a screenplay where the main character is a nun, and I think she's gonna drop some F-bombs. I don't see why she can't. I don't see why she can't.
I don't either.
Especially with what she's doing.
Yes.
That's a whole...
I can't wait to see this one unfold, man. If you need an interpreter for this one, I'm on it.
Oh well, yeah. We should definitely have some inclusion on that.
Definitely. Because they can relate, I'm sure.
I'm sure it could.
How are we doing? Okay.
Oh yeah, I know. Unfortunately, we had to run a little short today.
Traffic and all.
We're like
no makeup,
eyeballing the clock.
Crap traffic. Just blame me. It's my fault.
Things happen. It's okay. PJ and I had mentioned this earlier. Like everyone has their reasons for getting out of bed, right? Everyone has their reasons for doing the things that they do. And for some folks, it's spirituality or religion. For some folks, it's just like this weird drive that they have. If you don't have your list of things that you want to do, like what gets you out of bed in the morning? Because that's what I was saying. Like if I didn't have things to do, I wouldn't even know how to get out of bed.
Well, right. Well, we didn't even bring this up, but I think I didn't. I think you do know I have a son that died, right?
Yes. Sort of in passing, I think.
Okay. So it's a very long story, but the short story is I have two kids. A 20-year-old daughter named Madigan, who is fabulous, by the way. Hi, dear. I love her to death. She's a visionary. She's wicked smart. She's got this killer IQ. Like, girl's going to change the world. She has a brother who was 15 months younger than her, who, sadly, at 18 months old, died very unexpectedly, just didn't wake up. Wasn't SIDS. They considered it SUDC, which is sudden unexplained death in childhood. And it actually goes to 7 years old, which is crazy to me.
Well, they just stop.
They just don't wake up. And Pete was in Iraq at the time. He was not even in this country.
Oh, my God.
So it was just me, my not yet 3-year-old daughter, and my 18-month-old son. My family and friends, all my friends work. My families are in other states, someplace. I got nothing, so I gave up my career temporarily to take care of my kids because Pete was serving our country. All right, that's fair. Mm. And I basically said to him, when you come home, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. Like, I'm going to give up everything temporarily until you get back. Okay, well, David didn't wake up. My life just kind of went, oh, shit. So then he came back. We buried David. And he mourned the loss of a son he never really knew. David was 2 months old when he left.
Yeah.
I mourned the loss of a kid who every breath I took was for that kid. So what gets me out of bed now is that legacy, I guess. I just want to be, I don't know, I guess it's him in a weird way, which sounds dumb. And I never really had that spiritual foundation, faith walk thing like I do now. And a lot of it's because of David, losing David. I mean, I didn't have any of that before. I didn't, when you think, oh, I've got faith, I've got this, I've got that. But do you really? And until those you've been to the bottom where shit happens. I mean, but until you get to that rock bottom shit, where does that faith show up? At the very bottom, right?
Right.
And that's where I found it. So in a lot of ways, he's the reason I get out of bed. He's the reason I have the faith walk I have today. Do I like how I ended up here? No, not at all. But I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful I got to be his mom for as long as I did. And in a way, I just kind of when I finally do get to heaven, I'm assuming that's where I'm going to end up. That, he's going to walk in, I'm going to show up and he's going to be like, you did okay without me.
He's proud.
I hope so. Because my daughter's probably ready to say, oh, give it up, Mom. Just hang it up, Mom.
I'm sure she's not.
I don't know about that.
There was this beautiful interview with Stephen Colbert and Anderson Cooper, where Colbert talks about being, I'm sure I'm butchering this, but being so grateful for the thing that didn't happen.
Yeah. There is gratitude and everything, and Oola is huge into that. I mean, Oola, in a nutshell, is balance and growth and purpose in 7 key areas, and finding the gratitude in all of it, all of it. And I try to tell my seminar students that there has to be gratitude in everything. There has to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to end up bitter and sad and alone. And we were not put on this earth to be alone.
No. And I get asked a lot, with all the stuff that's happening, and I'm sure that you had that as well with the David situation. It's how are you still walking? I wouldn't be able to get out of bed. And
you do.
You just do.
You have to. Right. I've got a daughter that needs me. I've got a husband that needs me. I've got students that need me. I've got clients that need me. I've got, consumers that need me. And I don't think God's a one gift kind of guy. I think, I don't think interpreting is the only gift he's given me. He's given me a lot of gifts.
Yeah.
And if I don't use them while I'm here, why am I here?
Right.
What am I here for?
What is the one thing that you're aiming for that you haven't quite got yet, that you're like, I'm going to get?
You know what? I'm working with Kate Butler on this. She's a speaker, and I really want to do I'll say keynote speaker, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
But I want to do a keynote thing for 1,500 people.
cross my fingers.
All right.
And my toes.
All right.
And we'll talk about it on our Monday talks. Like, did you do the thing yet? Did you?
Right.
Did you do
How
the
are
thing?
you doing it?
How you done it? Did you do it?
What are your action steps? Let's go.
Do you need to rant about something first? There we go. I could talk to you for 100 years. And as we know, I know, we do it all the time.
And I'll show up on time in makeup and hair.
You look whatever. Listen, you look fine.
No, I really don't. But it's all good. I don't care. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Well, no, I'm glad that you agreed to come in today because again, like dreams look different for everyone, and I feel like they're all valid.
Oh, of course.
You know, so like, yeah, talk about it. Like, get the word out there. We have to think someone's waiting for the room.
Yes, but sorry, I cried on you. I'm sorry.
Shh, no, that's great. Anyway,
see, that's why I didn't wear makeup.
Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Let's do it again. This was fun.
Thank you, and thank you all for joining us. And keep on dreaming. We'll see you next time.